Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 116 of Keeping It Real. I'm your host, jackkadis, and today we're going to do what we do every day. I'm starting to feel like I'm training a muscle. I don't know what that muscle is. Maybe it's my brain. I think it might be like the connection between my brain and my mouth. So, this is the part of the story where I have no idea like how I'm supposed to feel, right? Like, on the one hand, it's like, once again, you're alone. Like, kind of sucks. On the other hand, it's like, you should look at what you just went through and how you handled yourself and be proud because you did it. I think you were very, I'm starting to think mature. The word mature is extremely relative. I don't think mature, I mean, what are we talking about here? Old? Like, I guess. I'm certainly old. I just don't know how I'm supposed to, I know I don't have to have the answer, but I do, that my question right now is like, how am I supposed to, I don't know why I keep asking myself, like, how am I supposed to be right now? Like, what am I supposed to be like right now? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't understand how, like, what just happened to me fits into me. I don't understand really. I have a really hard time, I think, with all this stuff because I have these people that are wiser than me and older than me, and they say, just calm down. It's certainly not worth stressing about, and be yourself. And the be yourself part, I get, that sticks with me. But the calm down and don't stress yourself out, I just don't understand. How am I not supposed to be stressed about this? This is what I think. This is what I believe. And I honestly, like, this is, you go out there and you're looking for a partner, and it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It doesn't matter if you're ugly or handsome. And it doesn't matter if you're, it doesn't, there's nothing. Like, there's no, but there's one thing. I'm going to get there in a second. But what I'm trying to tell you is, like, all these things that people think matters, like, oh, it didn't work out with this girl. I'm going to hit the gym so super hard. Or, oh, it didn't work out with this girl. Like, I'm going to study my ass off. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be out there dating because, like, I'm not in school and I just work in fast food and I'm, like, just on the internet and, like, I struggle to get up early in the morning. Like, maybe if I can get all that stuff done, then it'll be... No. Always put yourself out. And when I say put yourself out there, I'm starting to think that... I don't know what I'm starting to... But this is what I'm trying to explain to you here. The thing that does matter, and at least I was thinking this in my head, and maybe when it comes out, I'll realize how silly and stupid this sounds. But I was thinking, well, what is, like, the one resource? Like, what is the most attractive thing you can have? And I think the most attractive thing that you can have is time, and by extension, or maybe even boiled down, youth. I think there's a reason that it feels so intense the first go around when you're first time you're ever in love with someone. And I think that there's a reason why there seems to be this existentialness, and I don't know, I just see, like, this pattern as people get older. I don't know. It's I saw Bill Belichick today on the Jumbotron at the Hurricanes game. He had a girl next to him that was 24 years old, someone told me. I'm not going to comment on whether I think that's disgusting or not, because I honestly don't know. My jaw was certainly dropped, and I'm still thinking about it. And then, you have, like, all these factors that play into everything. I said earlier, like, you don't need money. And it's true. You don't need money to be in love. But people do fall in love with people with money. And I feel like that's in part because money is like, gives off the illusion of time, you know? Like money is just the trickiest thing ever. And it's like, I feel like money is the root of all stress in my life. And I don't know, sometimes I distinguish between good stress and bad stress. And I feel like it's all bad stress. Like, I don't know. It all just doesn't seem right or feel right. Keeping it real seems right and feels right. But, go figure, it doesn't make me any money. And it's like, how am I supposed to not stress about all this when I keep on? I'm not going to say I'm failing or, I don't know. I don't know how to, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to describe what just happened. But like, how am I supposed to not be stressed out when I just, nobody, like, I can't, like, no matter how, it seems like no matter how I act or what I do, and this is totally over dramatic. I don't think I've tried that hard. I don't think I've actually been in that many situations. I think I'm treating this like I've seen thousands of girls over the course of the last 2.5. I feel like I just got to the point where I'm not comfortable in my own skin. I feel like I'm fields and levels wiser than I once was, but I don't want to put my past self down. I think he was incredible. And there's a lot of him that like I try to resemble. Like, but you got to understand, like, what he had was youth. This is what I'm saying. How am I supposed, like, not how am I supposed to? I think I just get stressed. I get stressed out because every day I get older. And I can't keep doing that without somebody to do it with. I can't. It's, and I know, I get that you guys can't relate, and some of you are like, just chill out, and some of you are like, it's not that big of a deal. You guys don't understand. Like, I can't, like, I guess I literally am, and I have to. I don't know why I keep saying I can't. I don't know why I say I can't. I'm actually currently doing it right now. And may I say, I think I'm doing a damn good job. It's not easy to be alone and accept that. A lot of people, and I'm no angel. There's a lot about me that I want to change, but every day, always lately, I'm thinking about tomorrow and my future and like positive, like I'm never like, I checked the analytics and no women watch this podcast. Which is weird because my mom watches it, but Mom, you must not have like defined your sex when you made your account. It says that on my videos it's 100% male. So I mean, that's, like, this is not, what I'm doing is not successful if you look at like the views and stuff. And it's, I don't know, maybe it's starting to weigh on me. I go back and forth a lot. Like 2 episodes ago, I was like, this is really going to be something. And like, I'll probably think that tomorrow. It's too late at night for me to be doing this. But I am, because I have to. I just want to tell you how Lou, if you're listening to this, I read that you just went through a breakup. And same, bro. And like, it literally, like, you can type it all out, you can say it all out, you can cry, you can, do all your chores and add a bunch and be super productive and feel great about yourself. And it's like it doesn't matter. You can't run away and you can't escape it. it's like you're confronted with the demon that is the ticking time clock. You know, I don't know how. I don't know how I'm supposed to be okay with this. The girls, they come into my life and they leave, and it's like when they leave, it's like I don't even know how to, like, I want to tell them, like, you don't understand what you're doing. Like, don't stop. Like, we just gave each other so much time. You can't just leave. Like this is not good for you to just leave. Like if we just stuck together, you have no idea what could happen. And I get that that's the scary part, but like shit's scary. Life is scary. You know what I'm more scared of? I'm more scared of being alone. But I guess other people aren't. Especially women, I feel like you hear women my age a lot. They say like, I might be, the right person might never come. Dude, how can you say that? Like, maybe I'm just trying to fill the void that was my parents, to be honest with you. That may be what it is. I just got back from Charlotte and seeing my parents, and it's like a different, like, I don't, like, every time I do that and come back, I recognize how dirty this place is. And I'm not just talking about, like, the messes that we have and stuff that we can clean. I'm talking about, like, the walls and the water and the, it's just dirty. And then I get faced again with like, well, my dad has put his family where he was able to put it because he worked really hard at a job. Well, guess what? Lately, this past year and a half or so, I've come to learn that my dad doesn't necessarily love his job. What? That, when you're growing up, especially as like the first son, your dad is like Superman, superhuman, super beast. Like there is no one on this earth that is as powerful and amazing and strong as your own dad. And for me to be going through being 21 years old and then come to learn that like that place that dad always is, he's always at work. And he's always, even when he's home from work, he's working. Always work. He wakes up at like 4 a.m. just to get a head start on work. He says he never goes to bed when he has unanswered emails. He's always taking calls in the car. He has mediations instead of meetings. Like, he breathes. He's held so many different positions at his company. He's been like the treasurer. He's been the person that oversees like certain areas of like the discussion and how much people get paid. He like every year he has to try and tell some higher board or something how much he thinks he's worth. And meanwhile, he's always working hard and like he's a veteran within his position. And I went and visited his work the other day, and there was this guy that was like, everyone's saying hey to me, like all these people that I had met and came and gone, and like in his office, like, oh, this is Jeff's son. And it's like, it's weird, but it's cool. And then this guy comes up and he's like really eager to shake my hand. Like, and I'm like, whoa, weird. And then I find that my dad is like his mentor. And he has got these really big eyes. And he's like, I've heard so much about you. And I'm like, that's awesome, dude. Good to meet you. And I'm like, what? I told my dad it kind of felt like Severance. Has anyone seen that show? Like, who are these people? And I don't understand. Like, is this what I'm supposed to be? Like, is that why? Like, that's why college is really fucking freaking me out. That's why I still haven't signed up for a summer class. That's why I can't, like, is that really, like, I can't, like, I actually can't. Like, what's the exchange here? I do this so I have a lot of money and I can support people that I love. This is how I think you support people you love. You support people you love with your time. And every time I try to start giving my time to someone, like a girl, it's like it just fucking, it's like, oh, why is he like, it's like I'm crazy. It's like I'm crazy. It's like, and it makes me feel like every time they push back, and it's like, I don't want your time. And then I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I get it, but I still want to give it to you. And it doesn't matter what I do. It's like, leave me alone. How can you convey to someone that you just want to do your best to love? Why is it that I can't, that no one seems to get that message? Everyone seems to just, I don't understand. And I can't fathom how it seems like when I look at the wise people in my life, they kind of have, and I look at like their guiding hand. The hand is like, get a 4-year degree and begin a job that pays lots of money. And I look at my roommate Sam, who is currently starting out doing this. And I almost like see it. Like he is beginning to work all day, every day. He goes to bed at a reasonable hour, and he wakes up early. Even when he doesn't have school, he has work. He's going to come on full time when the semester, then like he'll be working. And and am I like, can you label me as lazy and like hippie, like am I just some like slacker kid that like never got the memo? Maybe maybe it's like actually just is all my fault, and like I'm actually just lazy and I don't want to do hard work. I don't want to, and what am I supposed to think about this? Like, am I just supposed to work towards an office? I can't. Like, what's it all for? Like, it seems like a chicken and an egg situation. Like, even though I know, it's like I'm trying to convince myself. Earlier when I was trying to tell you that you don't need to have this, you don't need to have that to be in love, it's almost like I was saying that because I'm trying to convince myself of it. When in reality, it seems like I need a stable job for a girl to attach herself to me. Like, for someone to accept me. I have a stable job. I work at Jersey Mike's. Like, that shit's stable. Like, I have a tax form. I work in between 30 and 40 hours every week. I get paid enough to cover my bills, which I'm about to be doing. And I don't understand. I don't understand. Where do I got to put myself? Like, why? Like, why? All these guys that I know that we were or have been in relationships for long periods of time, it always seems like the girl decided that she believed in him, like at whatever young age they met. You know what I mean? Like, it always seems like this girl came along, saw this guy, decided that she really believed in him, and never gave up on him. And when is that going to happen to me? Like, why can't, like, I want to believe in somebody. Like, why can't, oh my God. It is so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. I'm not going to download dating apps anymore. And I'm going to keep on making myself better. I'm going to keep on taking care of myself. And just believe believe that something is around the corner. Because I have to believe something's around the corner. I don't have to. I can get rid of that part. I'm just going to keep taking care of myself and live my life. Matter of fact, when it comes to being in a relationship, I found myself speaking about a certain relationship that I've witnessed in my life. And I was talking to someone about it, and they were sort of like on this step. And so I said, oh, I'm not sure if like you'd want to jump into that step so fast. Moving in together. I'm talking about my little brother, Ike. They won't be sharing a bedroom, but they live in the same apartment. And come on, guys. They're not even 20 years old yet. You really think that they're going to be staying in their separate bedroom? You really think that the day is going to end and they're going to say, okay, good night, see you tomorrow? No. They're going to be sleeping in one of those bedrooms, and they'll probably make the other bedroom a fucking office or something. Like, they're going to be living together. They've been together for whatever amount of time. They're super in love, and they're kind of like I feel like they're kind of, or at least my brother is like fighting for this apartment and fighting to live with this girl. And it almost comes out of my mouth without me even thinking. I'm like, that you shouldn't do that. You should put off moving in with your significant other for as long as you possibly can. You should put it off until family and friends start to say, why do you guys not live with one another? You should put it off until it actually legitimately starts to become a logistical nightmare. Like, okay, like, all right, well, we're having a kid, and it doesn't make sense for us to have these two separate apartments. We're going to move in together. Like, I don't think you should, like, rush into something like that. Like, you should stay in your own house, your own apartment for as long as you can possibly manage. Just like you should hold off on proposing or marrying someone for as long as you possibly can. And then I'm starting to apply it to everything, right? Like, in my mind, I'm like, you should hold off on leaning in for that first kiss for as long as humanly possible. You should hold off on that first time you have sex for as long as you can possibly manage to hold off on it. You have to hold off on it until, like, it seems like the only thing you can do. Like it seems like there is no possible other way that you could possibly do anything else other than walk through that milestone with your partner. And, that way around, it gives you maximum time to realize what's happening. It gives you the maximum amount of opportunity to live in the moment. Because the idea is, like you have to understand here, the whole point of all of this is once you move in with that girl, once you have sex with that girl, once you kiss that girl, once you ask that girl to marry you, hopefully you will never, ever ask any other girl or do that with any other girl ever again. That's the idea. At least for me. It doesn't matter. I don't know why I had to say at least for me. I don't care about distinguishing that. I'm just telling you, that's the idea. That's the idea. So, then, what if we push that a little bit further? And it's like, then how, if that's what's up, and dude, how many times do I, whatever, just leave it. So that's what's up. And you think like, okay, so like, that's pretty simple. So why can't I execute it? executed. I'm like making this like numbers. Like there are so many pretty girls all over the world, not even just my area. I know I live in a college town. So what? Anywhere you go on the entire planet, half of us are beautiful women, and the other half are ugly men. And it doesn't make any sense that I'm struggling so hard with this. Because like logically it just shouldn't be like this. Like I actually can't believe it. Like I've grown so much and I'm continuing to push growth. Why? Why am I not? Why is there no one next to me? I'm sick of this shit, man. I'm sick of it being like exciting that I'm single. I'm sick of it saying like you never know what's around the corner. But I think just like you're supposed to hold off for as long as you possibly can on all the things that you do with this girl if she was next to you, I think you also hold off on herself. There's a bug on my foot. And you might be thinking, like, how can you hold off on her if you don't even know who she is? Well, it's not about like on holding off on her. It's about like what does the principle of holding off accomplish? Well, it makes you appreciate your own apartment while you have it. It makes you appreciate being not married, not engaged while you aren't. It makes you present in the moment and truly aware of your current circumstance because, simply put, you'll only have what you have to look back on. I mean, you can't just try and skip through this stuff and like make it a big blur and just jump to the next thing and picture to and expect to be, you know, wise and understanding of both sides and contemplative of, you know, where you've been and how it's changed you in the long run, because you're not going to remember what you just brushed past, you know? The man that always jumps to the next thing will never appreciate the current thing. Write that down. So, you know, I do appreciate this. I really do. And you might think like my tone and like the way I'm saying, like, I just don't get it. How am I supposed to, like, I don't understand. Like, this is so messed up. Like, but this is it, you know. This is me it's lonely. It's lonely. I really want to crawl into bed with somebody every night, even if, you know, we don't even talk to each other. Even if it, like, they got cold feet, or they snore, or they tell me I snore, or, you know, I get shitty sleep. I don't, like, but you know what? Tonight I sleep alone. And I'm grateful for that. Tonight I sleep alone, and Jack, if you're listening, tonight I'm sleeping alone. That means just me. So what's it like when it's just me? Well, you know, you're witnessing it right now. It's just me and the camera. I had a commenter. Let's read it. Because I kind of want to respond on the show. I kind of want to give him a piece of my mind live on air. we have this guy, and I know he didn't watch the whole episode because the entirety of the watch hours for that episode at the time of this comment was like 0.5 watch time hours, and it was like 12 views. So he probably watched the first 5 to 10 minutes, and he says, bro, respectfully, religion is not a way of coping with death. I don't know, how should we do this? How should I pick apart this guy's argument? Because he has no idea what he's saying. Should I go sentence by sentence? Or should I read it out once and then attack the whole thing? Should I read it out once and then attack it sentence by sentence? I'm going to read it out once and attack it sentence by sentence. Bro, respectfully, religion is not a way of coping with death. Personally, as a Christian, there's so much to prove that there has to be another life. Christianity is the most evidence-influenced religion, and if you read the Bible, there's so many signs and miracles that happen every day that bring people to faith all around the world. My favorite is probably Eucharistic miracle of Buenos Aires. If I were you, I would research it. It personally brought me closer to the faith than I was before. Now, before I get into this, I'd like to write something down. I'd like to actually look up that miracle and read it in my own time and really give it some thought. Because while I am about to pick apart this guy's words and entire character, I'm about to go in on this guy. Seriously, I do respect that he took the time to write this out, and he did say respectfully at the start of the comment. So, respectfully, I owe him a read. I owe his recommendation a read. Eucharistic miracle of Buenos Aires. Okay, let's begin. Religion is not a way of coping with death. Says who? I think everything's a way of coping with death. And who are you to tell me religion is not a part of everything? We think of things in frameworks, and we begin to form these frameworks with strong foundations. Some are weak. But when we begin to talk about something, it often helps if we start with a lead up containing something else. Words are very putty. Words are very liquid, and they are not as concrete as we sometimes feel that they are. One example is, I could tell you that I absolutely hate you and I never want to see you again, when in reality, I actually love you and I hope I see you every day till the day that I die. You see what I mean? When I say, like I said yesterday, that I believed religion is one way to cope with the idea of and inevitable doings that is death, I meant just that, in the sense that it's really scary to be here when you start to wonder if anything even matters. Death sums this up such that I don't have to launch into how do we know that anything has substance, and why would I ever try to do this? Why, what reason do I ever have to put my best foot forward here when I have no idea if there's any rhyme or reason to anything? I'm just kind of screaming out into the void here, trying to construct my own, way of thinking and such. And I guess it upset this guy. And I would imagine, even though I'd like to say that it wouldn't upset me, if someone attacked in such a way what I do here, which is film myself every day. If someone started to attack that, if someone was really tried to get on me and was you're just, and of course, I could give the example where someone says, oh, Jack films himself every day to cope with the idea of death. But, that wouldn't, I'd probably be like, you know me really well, and I'd be interested. But I'm sure there's some combination of words that would irk me to the same degree that it seems that I have irked this man or woman. But I would assume man based on the analytics. I'm sure, I'm positive that someone could find a right combination. There is definitely many combinations of words that could get me worked up. So I can't take the high road when it comes to, hey, mister, there's no reason for you to take my words as such a thing that incites such an emotion that you decide to write such a comment that is all about, I don't know. It seems like you just want to prove me wrong. And in this particular instance, I just want to attack your comment because when it comes to right or wrong, when we talk about what's right or wrong, I think we rely on facts. And facts, although they seem concrete, everything's a gray area. Words are just words, and it's all putty and liquid, like I said earlier. But we must try. So as I try, I like to say things like, well, there is something, fact. There is something. And even that itself can be dismantled. Is there anything? I actually don't know. But this man says, after this sentence, personally as a Christian. So this is like ethos or something like that. Or like pathos. One of those two. Certainly isn't logos. He brings up the fact that he himself is a Christian. And I almost can imagine him typing this sentence and beginning it in such a way with sort of instinctual nature. He's began to write this comment, and he did so because of the way he received my happenings about religion. And it seems that he very much wants me to, research a particular story, and he also wants me to. I think he wants me or others to read this comment and say, "Interesting. Maybe I should give religion a shot." And it seems to me that he starts that sentence with "personally as a Christian." With that sort of intent, with the idea that sort of furthers his argument. In my mind, rather, it just sort of highlights a bias. How can you tell me that I should give what you're telling me more weight because you yourself are Christian? Anyway, moving on. There's so much to prove that there has to be another life. This is sort of Donald Trump speak, and I will say it's very effective. It's very, very effective, and I'm doing it right now because I say things, and I say a lot of right things, and people understand what I say, and because I say a lot of things, and I say them a lot right, and that's why the people love me, and there's lots to prove that everything I say is right, and the people love me because the numbers back it up, and listen, the people really do love me. I'm really big. I'm huge. That's how Donald Trump speaks, and he does his speeches, and he's really great at it. And they're genuinely very effective. But it sort of highlights like to me, it's not very like intelligent. He's not seeking to understand, rather he's seeking to convince. And if you're seeking to convince, then you kind of missed a step. I think you're focused a little bit too externally rather than internally, whereas you should seek for a balance between the two. And when you say to me, there's so much to prove that there has to be another life, I'm like, okay, that kind of is just word slop. That's like saying, dude, can I tell you something later? Like, why would you not? Anyway, then he starts the next sentence with, Christianity is the most evidence-influenced religion. And if you read the Bible, there's so many signs and miracles. that happen every day that bring people to the faith all around the world. Okay. A lot of people try heroin every day. A lot of people have sex every day. Like, it's once again, it's like, there's nothing concrete here. And I get it. Like, I get it. Nothing can ever be concrete. You know, even the fact that there's a table in front of me right now cannot actually be proven. But you have to at least try. Like, this guy's making no actual attempt at reasoning. He's just trying to bully his way into convincing. And that doesn't fly with me, and it sort of speaks a lot for the thing that he's trying to convince me of. Like, I can't, you know, and I guess it doesn't, you know, this guy could be like this, and meanwhile there could actually be a God. Like, I don't know, but what I know is what I see, and even what I see is not known, but it's a good starting point. I'm not going to jump past the starting point and start to worship something that I can't even see. I'm sorry, but it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. You think, like, what if your best buddy was like, yo, give me $20 and just have faith that it's the right thing to do? You'd be like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. But when the basket comes around at church, you empty your wallet. And I get it. You know, I get it. I truly, I think you put it past me how much I really do get it. You don't think life freaks me out? This shit is scary. But I choose to let it be scary. It's kind of like the marriage thing, or like the, rushing into something. Why would I rush into God? If there comes a time in my life where there is no other way, there's no other option, and I am left with no other path, it seems, than to go and join a church, then that's what I'll do. And I'll do it happily, knowing that the entirety of my life before that moment, I really was very present in the moment, knowing that it wasn't for me. And that makes me think, like, am I going to be single for the rest of my life? Maybe. Genuinely, I might be. That's a turn on what I said. Remember, I was like, how can people say that? But I just said it. Anyway, then he says, my favorite is probably, I don't know, man. You got to think about how this stuff comes off to a guy like me. Like, you can't, like I've had plenty of men try and get me to see the God the way that they do. And that's a big thing that these guys do, is it's all about sharing the message and sharing their faith with others. And that's great. I think that things that people want to share are things that you should pay attention to. But, God is a concept that I simply don't have time to explore. There's no evidence. You can't tell me that there's plenty of evidence and it's the most evidence-based religion. And it may be the most evidence-based religion. It may be. But that's just like saying 3 is more than 2. Like, okay, so what? Like, religion itself is fluffy and wonky. Like, why does something being labeled the most? That's like if out of all the scam companies, one was listed the most ethical. They're still all wrong. They're still scam company. Like, it's religion, and you have to understand when I say this, because I mean it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think that it gets a lot of people where they got to be. And I think that without it, we wouldn't have anything, especially any of the things that I love, like this beautiful camera, these computers, this mic. Like, none of it would exist if there wasn't religion. Religion came so far before any of this technology, and I'm not saying it's like directly because, but like this religion plays a big part in all this stuff, you know? And I think people were able almost to think critically and carefully about new technology and advancement and improvement because religion allowed them to calm the side of their mind that stared into the void and, you know, wanted to just regress into weed smoking monkeys. So thanks for that comment. When I read it, I was like, this is actually awesome. And it followed a comment from my man Lou. You know, we've been having some long comments on this channel. That's what it's all about. People just pouring their heart out in the comment section. I don't want to attack this guy's comment either. I actually thought that it was pretty well written, and I guess maybe in a sense it opened my eyes to the tone that I may have when I discuss certain things. No, I don't think if I went back I'd change anything about how I said anything, but going forward, it's something to keep in mind, certainly. All I want to do right now is go to bed. I'm so tired that I can't even focus on what I'm saying. And this has to get done. I won't turn it off and I won't go to bed. Because there's never a perfect time to do anything, to start something. And whenever you do manage to take that first step and start walking a path, you know, any day you can step off of it and stop. So I can't stop. I have to make this episode. Like there is no like crawling in bed for me right now. There is this episode. I must make this episode. I can't. There's no other way because I began this for a reason. I know. I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about how complex I make this hobby of mine seem sometimes. Like sometimes I make it into just this like really unclimbable mountain. Like I want to make these videos that I just can't seem to make, and like what's not clicking? I can't seem to just go and put the effort in to film this and film that. Why? And I look at like the first videos that I ever made and what I thought about becoming, and I remember I'm starting to realize that like it's not all that different. There's still just a camera, me, and my voice. And like there hasn't been that much change. You know? Like, you know, yeah, I'm starting to realize that I'm working out my mouth and my mind like sort of a muscle at this point. Throughout today, I was like craving this, which is weird because I put it off for so long again. I don't know why, but it's like, it's not that different from the very first time I pressed record. I've just, you know, the only thing that's changed is I just keep doing it, and that in itself is a lot of change. You know, every day it's a push. Every day it's a push. I think the next time some dumb girl hears me ask her on a date and she says, sure thing. Gosh, I hope it's not. If it's your daughter, I apologize. I'm just playing. I'm just messing around. But then, you know, the next time a pretty girl agrees to go on a date with me, you won't know about it. And that, you know, I might come back tomorrow and have asked somebody on a date and just be super eager to tell you everything about it. I might. I don't know. But right now in this moment, I want to tell you that next time I take a girl out on a date, you know, if it were to be right now, like if somehow miraculously I just looked at my phone and got a text back from someone that said that they're free for lunch on Tuesday, I wouldn't tell you about it. And even as I'm saying that, I'm actually starting to not even believe it myself. I think that I probably will. And like, maybe that's to my detriment, to be honest with you. But maybe not. When we talk about holding off on things, like if you want to zoom in and say holding off on moving in with your significant other, are we holding off or are we also pushing back? Because, is talking about every little detail about a current relationship on a podcast, is that pushing back on the potential of that relationship? I have no idea. I guess it depends on the girl. And am I looking... what kind of stupid question is that? Am I looking for a girl that would be okay with me, being open and honest on camera? I'm looking for any girl. I don't give a fuck what. If that's, that'd be great. Like, it's not like at this point, I don't have any, like, I don't have anything. Like, it's not like she has to be this, she has to be that. She just has to have a mind. Like, that's literally it. She has to have a mind, and we have to be in I think I am looking, I think it's proximity. Because I saw something the other day that said our best friends in life actually just come from proximity. And I'm thinking about it, and it's true. The only reason my closest friends today are my closest friends is because we live together. That's the only reason we're best friends. Like, we wouldn't be homies if we didn't live together. But, I'm not going to be living with any hot girls anytime soon. And I guess that's just what it is. I guess that's just what it is. I could find like clubs to join and places to go that aren't like work. There are girls at my work, but it's not like, we all know how that went. There are girls that are customers at my job. There's two in particular that I think I'd ask out on a date, and I feel like they might both say no. I don't know. Maybe it's just my self-esteem at the moment. They could both say yes. I think it's a 50-50 for both, and I think that's usually what it is, a 50-50. I think that's, honestly, gentlemen, you want it to be a 50-50. If there's a girl that you're going to go ask on a date, and for some reason you just think it's a 100% chance she's going to say yes, something somewhere is wrong. There's something going on. You got to really pay attention. You got to really pay attention to what's going on. And somewhere in the pipeline of thoughts and actions and happenings, you got to figure out what's going on there. You should never have 100% anything. And it goes the same the other way. If you're going to ask out a girl and you 100% know she's not going to say yes, something's wrong. Like, something, you should not go up to her and say anything. 50-50 makes the world go round. That's what you want. You want that 50-50 because that means that you're level-headed. This could go this way or this could go this way. You don't have to be ready for either side. It's just when it comes down to it, you shouldn't think that there's 100% chance of success or 100% chance of failure, because that's like you don't collect, like, you're not going to collect data that way. You're not going to get better that way. You're just going to keep on like digging this weird hole for yourself where like you're kind of writing your own story. And we all write our own stories when we can't help it. I know I certainly do. But you really want to try and be in the moment, be present, because you never get the moment back. So, for whatever reason, if the stars have aligned and you find yourself walking up to a pretty girl, you better make sure you believe that there's a 50% chance that she's into it and a 50% chance that she's not. I want to take that 50-50 some more. I want to invite this thought experiment. Lots of pretty girls all the time at the sandwich place. I imagine myself taking this 50-50 chance with as many of them as I can, right? And then I think, do I get fired? You know what I'm saying? Or like, do I get fired? Or like, what happens then if I start doing that? If I start saying, hey, are you free sometime soon? Or would you like to grab dinner with me? Or I would love to take you out on a date. Maybe I could leave you with my phone, or maybe you could leave me with your phone number. Like, it's like, it's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like, why would I do that? Like, that's, like, I'm at work, I just want to work, and doing that sort of thing makes me like lose my focus at work. So, I want to leave the episode off on this idea. I'd like to start something new. I'd like it to coincide a bit. I'm going to start eating healthier. I'd like to start my road to New York City. I have a year left in this lease, and I'd like to begin with the first step. And I'd like to make it a daily thing. Daily. And I'd like for my first step to be something simple. Like, maybe I put $5 away. I have it in cash right now. I could do it right now. I'm going to do it right now. Where's my wallet? It's up there. Shit. Give me 1 second. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course, at the Canes game, I met another guy that lived in New York City. He was sitting right next to me with like his daughters. Okay, so replay this moment right here if I ever reach my goal and I'm ever on the plane with all my bags packed and a place to call my first apartment in New York City. $5. I don't know where to put it. I could write on it, but that's actually illegal. Defacing government property. I don't have anything near me that I could do. I mean, I could just use one of these weighted things as like a paperweight and just hold the $5 down and write on this paperweight. I could write NYC Fund. All right, there you have it. NYC Fund paperweight holding down a $5 bill. Every single day for the next calendar year, I'm going to do one thing, whether it's adding $5, $10, $1, $20, whatever it is. It might be applying to school. It might be, packing everything up. It might be making a phone call. One thing every day. I might not make it. I might listen, and I don't know. One thing every day. It depends on how strong the things are. There's lots to be up in the air. I don't know. I might not make it. We might get to a year. We might get to April 23rd, 2026, and I might say I don't think it's going to happen this year. But that's for him to assess, and for me to work towards. So regardless, that date is going to come. I guess we'll make the bold assumption that I will be alive. And at the very least, come that time, I'll have $5. I might not. I might give up tomorrow and spend this $5. You know what I'm saying? But at the very look. This is what we got that no one can take away from us. At the very least, we started. You know what I'm saying? Like tomorrow, even if we don't do anything and give up and spend this $5, at least we can say that we took a shot here. You know? I'm really happy about this. I'm really happy about this $5. This is the end of episode 116 of Keeping It Real. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Peace.